be talking about feeling powerless, feeling grief, feeling afraid, feeling anxious. I really wanted to come on here and share some insight that the Lord has been giving me, things that I've been using myself to stay afloat and to persist, to endure, to be resilient throughout a time such as this. I know that a lot of people have questions, but I'm going to talk about the stages of grief. A few pointers, the stages, how to cope through the changes, the loss of what we know as our normal. I want you guys to stay encouraged. I want you guys to stay grounded during this time, because although we don't know when it's going to end or when we're going to go back to some regular programming in our lives, going back to work, getting our money back, getting our physical shape intact, and things like that, I did want to come on here and let you guys know that you can go through this and you can be successful in going through it. There's a scripture in the Bible, Philippians 4:13, that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I want you guys to make that your affirmation, your declaration, your conviction, your faith walk to be based on this, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. He's the one that strengthens us, and he is the one that is carrying us through every single step of the way. He, the Lord, will be the stability of your times, abundance of salvation, wisdom, and knowledge. The fear of the Lord is Zion's treasure. So this is our treasure, guys, the fear of the Lord. If we lean on to him, if we reverence him, if we know that he can help us get through this, then he will give us knowledge, wisdom, strength for such a time as this. We are all going through this. This is a collective grieving period that we're all experiencing. We're grieving what we knew as normal. Grief is a sudden or abrupt change in our daily pattern. So this is why we grieve people, because we're used to them being in our lives every single day. We'd go visit grandma every day. We would talk to grandma on the phone every day. We would eat grandma's food every day. We would go see her and she would talk about how our hair was a certain way or how our clothes should be a certain way, or she would give us some advice. When grandma passed away, we experienced that grandma no longer was there to cook us food. Grandma no longer greeted us at the door. Grandma did not have anything to say about our hair. Grandma was not there picking up the phone when we made that phone call. It's a grieving period because it changes our normal. So right now, we're actually experiencing grief. We're going through the motions, guys, all of us, everybody. When I went outside the other day, I went to Rite Aid. When I approached the line to pay, I stood behind somebody maybe a feet away. I wasn't even 6 feet into it, but I was about maybe 1 feet or 2 feet away from the person. And one of the security guards actually approached me like, hey miss, you have to step back 6 feet. Look at the floor, there's a marker. And I was like, oh my God, like, are you serious? You know, and it was alarming. It was a little bit like, oh my God, I was taken aback by that because I had never experienced something like that. So this is our new normal. We see people with masks on, we see people with gloves on. We see people basically trying to figure out how to do this whole thing, right? So I did want to come on here and share some things that will definitely help you during this grieving process. So the stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Elizabeth Rustler, she's the one that I actually recall talking about this in the past. She actually wrote a book about it, and she actually made a good point in that we do go through stages. You know, grieving is very exhausting. So if a lot of you are going through exhaustion right now, I completely understand. It's actually normal. It's okay to go through all of the motions. The only thing I would suggest is not to stay stuck in one stage. You know, we could be in denial. I think most of the world was in denial in the beginning of this. We were sharing posts where it was like joking, you know, we were laughing about the coronavirus. We were like, oh my God, we're gonna be in quarantine. Thank God we're not gonna be working. You know, we're not gonna have to go to work and things like that. But fast forward to maybe 2 weeks later, now we're all feeling some sort of way. We're all going through, maybe I'm tired all day. I had a day where I was extremely exhausted, and I'm like, why am I so tired? And I realized that it takes a lot out of us to actually manage this new normal. The other thing I would say is that when you're going through the stage of anger, you're gonna go through the stage of anger, and you're gonna feel frustrated. You're gonna feel stuck. You're gonna feel angry because you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You don't know if you're gonna have enough food in your house to feed you and the kids. You don't know if you're going to have a job, after this. You're angry because you can't go out to dinner, with your friends like it was your usual. You can't go out to dinner. You can't go out to the movies. You can't go to the park and jog if you wanted to, So our life now is being a little bit more restricted, and it is normal to feel angry. The next stage is bargaining. So a lot of us agreed to be home and to wear masks and to sanitize our hands and to fill our kitchen with food, and we're bargaining. So if I do this corona thing is gonna subside, this corona thing is gonna be over. But eventually we do realize that it takes a collective effort to make things happen like that and to level the curve, as they say, because we do see the cases increasing. We are seeing, more deaths and things like that. So we're not seeing much of a difference. You cannot stay in that bargaining stage because ultimately this is out of your hands. This is not something that you can control. You can contribute, and you can collectively, make the effort to see a better day or to see our freedoms be restored. But right now, we don't have control over those things. The next stage would be depression. So depression is a funny little thing because it starts off as discouragement, and then eventually it becomes depression. So when you have experienced depression in the past, you can try to attribute it to different things happening around you and things like that. But depression really is a form of mental health, as is grief. But depression is a little bit different because depression itself is a whole set of emotions, and it can very much disrupt your everyday processing, your mental state. It can interrupt your daily life. But if you do feel depressed, by all means, experience the emotions. Give yourself the freedom to mourn, to cry, to punch a pillow or two, to sleep, get some rest, to put on some comedy shows and then laugh, and you'll see how your resiliency will grow. You will see yourself bounce back. Even if you don't bounce back immediately, or even if you don't bounce back 100%, you will be able to manage yourself because you're building up that resiliency. And then the last thing would be acceptance. And this is what I want to talk to you guys about today, because it is actually the solution to the problem. It's just knowing what your reality is and accepting it. It's truly accepting it. It's truly coming to terms with what the reality is, what your truth is, what is going on around us. This is it, and we have no control over it. So I would say that radical acceptance is truly accepting things as the way they are. Accepting we have a new normal. Accepting that we are being socially distant. Accepting that we're working from home. Accepting that now we are within our family. We're relating to our family more. Some people will be moody one day. Some people won't have anything to talk about the next day. We will get into arguments. We will get tired of each other. We will get tired of watching Netflix. We'll get tired of social media. We'll get tired of writing in our journals. We'll get tired of singing. We'll get tired of certain things, and this is okay. This is just radical acceptance. Accepting things as they are will help you dilute that emotional tug of war that you have going on when you don't address the grief that you're going through, or when you don't acknowledge the feelings that you're feeling, right? So that would be my greatest advice to you guys, is feel your feelings. Feel it out, cry it out, punch a pillow, dance it away, cry it away. Do whatever it is that you need to do so that you can feel afloat, so that you can build the resiliency inside of your spirit and inside of your heart, your mind, your body. I read something in I think it was the book Untethered Soul, and it actually said that our emotions is energy in motion. So when you don't allow yourself to feel, you don't allow yourself to grieve, you don't allow yourself to cry, you're blocking yourself, from reality, from being productive, from moving forward. A lot of us have a lot of emotions inside and we don't know how to name them or identify them, but that's not what's truly important. What's truly important is that you actually feel it out. If you're anxious, talk to somebody and talk your anxiety away. If you're anxious, go for a jog. If you're anxious, turn off the radio and sweat it out. If you are fearful, talk to somebody. Let them know how you're feeling. I'm afraid because I don't have a job right now and I'm struggling financially and I still have to pay the rent and my kids have to eat. You know what, guys? There's a lot of resources out there. I will make a video probably later today concerning those things, where you can get government help right now. I would say push your pride to the side and really take advantage of the things that are out there. There's also SBA loans under the CARES Act if you guys are a small business and you guys may need some extra funding because of all the changes that have happened so abruptly. There's a lot of resources out there. I would also say that you guys can look for ways to help. If you guys have, money, you can donate. If you guys know resources, you can share that with people. If you guys are certified, nurse assistants, or if you guys are LPNs, or if you guys are home health aides, give yourself to the work. There's a call out here for essential workers, and that's actually something that I'm doing myself. I'm actually reaching out to people and I'm like, look, I'm a certified counselor. If you guys need help, call me. I will talk to you. I will help you sort things out. I will help you walk through the mill, because at the end of the day, this is what we're here to do. We're all called to serve, and who knows, you can inspire somebody else, you can motivate, you can encourage somebody else just by being present, just by being on the phone, just by being there in a text message. So I pray that you guys are blessed, and I pray that you guys would actually go through this successfully. Remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. There is nothing that you and God cannot do together. Even though we do want things to change, and we want the money to fall out the sky, and we want the vaccine to be created right now, the truth is that we all have to worry about ourselves individually and then collectively be able to aid and help others. One of the things that I love to tell my clients is, when you're on a plane, when you're about to, take off in the plane, and they tell you to be the first person to put it on, because you are the person that will be helping your children. You will be helping your the passenger next to you. You will be the one helping the other person. If you yourself do not have that oxygen mask on, you are running a high risk of losing your life during the turbulence or during the fall of the plane. What we're doing is that we are taking care of ourselves, and once we have ourselves taken care of, once we have our oxygen mask on, we will be able to help the other people around us. So stay encouraged, you guys. I will be praying for you guys, praying for the nation, praying for the world, because we are all going through challenging times. And if you guys are Christians, please join me in prayer. If you guys are afraid, send me an email, send me a message. I will definitely respond. If you guys need counseling, give me a call, send me an email, write in my comment section. I am more than glad to be here of assistance. Your humble servant. God bless you guys.